your finger in the camera.
Hit it. All right, cool.
Hey everyone, Bill with Washington Gun Law. Welcome to Live to Learn, Learn to Live. It's a collaboration with Washington Gun Law and Guardian Arms. I got Edgar here. Now this is part 2 of the series that we're doing about holsters, and today what we're going to be talking about, amongst other things, is carry positions. Okay, but now let's talk about what most of our viewers are going to be doing, which is concealed carrying, which means we're going to be carrying inside the waistband.
For sure.
Now we have a different carry positions there, right? So let's talk about the carry positions first.
So carry position is going to be all determined or all based on body structure, body size. Somebody with a bigger frame, beer belly, kind of like me, I'm not going to be comfortable carrying appendix carry. Appendix carry is directly in front of you, and typically means guns pointing at your
sensitive areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but if you understand the safety mechanisms behind pistols, it's not a thing. But that is one position, is appendix directly in front of you. It's the fastest, easiest way to pull a firearm or draw a firearm and engage. It's a simple pull of the shirt. Your hand goes straight in front of you. You pull the firearm out, you're ready to go.
So you think that appendix carry provides for the quickest draw, but of course you have to have the body type and the comfort level to do it that way, right?
Yeah, and appendix carry, believe it or not, a lot of thinner people, a lot of taller people have the easiest time concealing even bigger guns in appendix carry. I had you appendix carry a pretty big size Walther PDP earlier,
Right.
which with an extra magazine and everything, you're able to hide it very well. But appendix carry is going to be, if your body size allows it, is going to be preferred. It's going to suck for sitting down, so you're going to have to remove your holster or get used to.
And this is where, going back to our last video, that as an appendix carrier myself, I find it uncomfortable to sit down with a 4-inch barrel, but I do not find it as uncomfortable when I'm sitting down with a 3 1/4-inch barrel, and we can figure out the physics of that.
Yeah, just less mass pushing against you there.
Exactly.
And to be honest, even if I was the body type for appendix, I myself wouldn't necessarily be an appendix carrier, only because personal experiences, this is only pertaining to me. I've seen 3 different people require hernia surgeries from appendix carrying, from sitting down for an extended period of time.
Really?
Yeah. So appendix is not for me. It is a valid carry. It's just not
your preference.
No.
Okay.
I do.
Well, let's talk about other positions, though. What other positions, if people are not into appendix carry because they're not the right body type, or they're just not comfortable with it there, where else can they carry?
So 3 o'clock for inside the waistband, so a holster that goes inside of your pants. 3 o'clock is going to be slightly slower in a draw than appendix carry, but if you train to it, you can get pretty fast with it. And at 3 o'clock, it puts the gun off to your side. It's a more traditional way to carry your firearm. Most people would expect to have it on their hip. Most of us that grew up playing cops and robbers and cowboys, where did we all put our toy guns? Right here.
There on the right hip.
Right, so it's a natural flow. And then 5 o'clock, which would mean slightly towards the rear of your hip, is another great carry position to have your inside waistband holster.
Can I ask you about the 5 o'clock position? I've never myself experimented with it, but as we get further and further around the back there, do we need to move over to a left-handed holster so that the firearm is configured the right way when you're reaching back there?
So it's all about body mechanics, right? If you have a shoulder injury and it hurts, to rotate your rotator cuff back that far, that's not going to be a position that you want to carry in. But I myself, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't work the 5 o'clock position too much. I know a lot of people that do, and it's based on their body size. So the gun that they carry, where at the 3 o'clock position, if the grip extends out a little further than it should, it's going to print through the shirt, and everybody is going to see that L-shaped object.
Which means you're no longer concealed carrying.
Right. So they move to the contour of their body, and they move it back to 5 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock position, it sits in the slight lower of their back. And again, a bigger guy might not get away with a 5 o'clock position, but a taller or a skinnier guy might get away with their shirt or their contour of their body hiding that pistol grip in that 5 o'clock position.
Let me ask you this question. I have heard of people who will carry, when I'm carrying this firearm, I carry it appendix, but when I'm carrying this firearm, I carry it at 3 o'clock. Do you recommend that?
Very, very common.
Really?
Yeah. So you can have all the holsters in the world meant for different positions, right? But if the clothing that you're wearing doesn't allow it or doesn't fit, it's going to be a challenge that you run into. Me personally, when I'm wearing basketball shorts or shorts in general, what I do is I take a gun belt, a specific gun belt. A lot of people.
Yeah, let's. That's a good segue. Let's talk about gun belts because I got one on also. So people need to understand the importance of a gun belt. Explain that to the viewers.
So when I carry in weird positions, or not positions, but different clothing. When I'm carrying more athletic clothing,
Sweatpants, stuff like that.
Shorts, yeah. And I don't have a belt loop. I take my gun belt, and most people don't realize that they need to buy a gun belt. This gun belt is from a company called Bigfoot. It's girthy, it's thick, and it's got a steel cord liner on the inside. And what it does, it keeps that steel cord liner keeps the belt from sagging to one side, so no matter how heavy the pistol you're carrying is, it doesn't slump to one side. And that girth of the belt gives the clip plenty to hold on to, and it doesn't come off.
Because there's nothing worse than drawing your firearm and having the holster come with it.
Right. So a great holster and a great belt. Now I have a great belt. What I do when I'm in basketball shorts is I just literally I put my belt on my waist, clip this holster onto the belt, and then just simply put my shorts up over it.
Okay.
And that's what I do.
So even if you're wearing pants that don't have a belt or belt loops, you are still putting a gun belt on and clipping the holster to the gun belt.
Yeah, and it works. You
want me to come back and do that one again?
No. So to be honest with you, I never thought a holster and clothing discussion would be where I'd bring this up for the first time, but recently I had a critical incident at work, and working in an undercover position.
Yeah, you were plain clothed at the time.
I was in neon shorts and just loose t-shirt.
You were playing the part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that I did it was, the way that I hid my firearm was just like I explained. I put my belt around my waist and I put my shorts over it, and it worked. Now, there's fancier ways to do it now. There's a lot of companies that will market clothing. You'll pay $80 for a set of sweatpants that has already a belt on the inside that you can clip your firearm to. But you can save yourself a lot of money doing it the way that I just explained it. Instead of paying $80 for every single set of shorts.
Yeah, one good gun belt takes care of everything.
Yeah. For ladies' clothing, there's actually a company that I like that makes really good stuff. It's Tactica Women's Defense Fashion, and they make leggings that have two holsters. One, it's a semi-appendix carry, and the second is a 5 o'clock position. The 5 o'clock position actually has a Velcro safety tab over it that really easily removes. But internally, it's just a really hard rubber. And the way that they designed it, the strings or the cloth in here is not going to come loose. So you can take any firearm, for example, this Taurus here, and it would actually be this way if you're right-handed, opposite if you're left-handed.
It just slides in there nice and snugly.
Yeah, and again, obviously I have to replicate a little bit of pressure, right? So if I pull on it, because leggings fit tight, if I pull on it,
not going anywhere, is it?
No, it doesn't come out. And then again, you could also put it back here and have that strap, depending on how you want to carry the gun. Now, if this works for ladies going on a run, taking their kids out for a stroll, or just day-to-day functions. These are more of a sporty type, but they carry plain ones that women use for all sorts of
You got
stuff.
another option there too?
Yeah, so this is a belly band. This may work for basketball players. This may work for anybody out running around doing sports, or
Hiking on the trails.
hiking.
Biking.
You're going to be out and about all
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
You
yeah.
want to be more comfortable than a Kydex holster. But pretty much the way it works is you wrap this around your midsection, and if you can hand me a firearm, you pretty much just insert the firearm into this holster here. Wrap that there, and now you have a secured firearm. Again, it's going to sit a little higher than I would like it to, but if it works for you, great. You could easily conceal this. It doesn't have to be sporty clothes. It can just be an all-day event. One thing I just thought of is if you're wearing a suit, right, and you want to wrap this around your midsection, put your suit on around it, you don't have to bulk out your pants by shoving a Kydex holster. You're able to tuck your shirt in, your suit shirt into your pants without having this interfere.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, Edgar, that is some fantastic information about holsters. Now, listen, for the viewers, if we could just sum this up in a few sentences here, what's the important aspects of what they need to be looking for when they're picking out a good holster?
Durability, Kydex primarily is going to be durable. It can take a beating. You want retention. You want the holster to actually hold the gun in place. You don't want the gun to easily fall out of it. A good locking mechanism. You want whatever clip or other sort of mechanism that you use to hold onto your person. You want it to actually get a good purchase on your belt or clothing. And one thing I didn't cover earlier, and why I think holsters are a big pain in my butt, is the modularity. You, for example, take this Taurus, and that's not the holster for it, is it?
No, it's this one here.
Okay. You have a holster, and it fits your gun perfectly. However, when purchasing holsters, you're gonna have to get comfortable with the fact that you're gonna have to buy multiple holsters, sometimes even multiple holsters for the same gun. Because once you add any attachment to that firearm,
Like a green dot.
yeah, you add a green dot to it, and you see here, there's no cutout in the holster for it. This one has a cutout for it, and if you planned ahead of time, you're gonna have a holster that fits. But for example, can you toss me that one right there?
This one?
Yeah. And the holster for that is going to be here. Let's say you take a SIG P320 compact and you add a gas pedal to it that helps you mitigate recoil. If the holster you bought for it isn't equipped for that piece,
It's not
and
fitting.
it's not fitting. So ahead of time, you want to kind of think about the blueprint that you have in mind for that gun and purchase the holster for it ahead of time, or just understand that when you add pieces and you start to customize that firearm, every piece means you might have to buy a different holster for it. That's why holsters are a big pain in the butt. But other than that,
They're a big pain in the butt, but what people need to understand is this is one of the most critical components of being proficient as an everyday carrier.
yeah, it's just the way of life when you own firearms.
Hey, listen, you may have more questions about selecting a holster. You can always contact Edgar or Bruce here at Guardian Arms. That's at guardian-arms.com here in beautiful Moses Lake. That's all today on Live to Learn, Learn to Live, but we'll be back with more information. In the meantime, all of you, stay safe.